Namaste, come and welcome back to the mat and welcome to day 27 of this Move and Manifest journey. In today's practice, Faith and Fear, we are going to explore the beautiful peak pose of tripod headstand and explore where our confidence and insecurity boundaries are lying. So when it comes to some pretty big peak poses, maybe headstand or crow pose, anything like that, we always find ourselves kind of teetering on that edge of fear, wondering if we're going to hurt ourselves, frightened that we can't do it, especially if we're surrounded by other people. And it is something that I can physically watch a student kind of battle against. I can see the moment that a student is going to do it, they have the strength, they have the mobility, and their mind tells them they can't do it, and they immediately fall out. Now, this is something that I do struggle with as well in my own practice, especially when it comes to a pincher or a handstand or anything like that. The minute I try and do it, in my head I've said, you can't do it. And I can't. So today we are going to work on the journey towards a tripod headstand, not worrying about whether or not we come into it, but exploring where our confidence levels are lying and just exploring kind of that edge of fear. Now remember, these poses do appear scary, but you did the scariest thing of all. You started a yoga practice and you came to the mat. That really is truly terrifying. So you've done it. You've conquered that fear edge and you brought your mind to the mat. So we're going to begin today's practice, guys, by coming straight away into a child's pose, by bringing the big toes to touch, take the knees wide and send the arms all the way out. So we're going to activate our child's pose by pressing into the palms, lift the elbows up and relax the forehead down. Taking a beautiful deep inhale and a slow exhale. Giving ourselves a moment to bring our mind to the mat. And starting to massage away any self-doubt, any fear, by rolling our forehead from left to right on the mat. Massaging away anything here that doesn't serve us, that we don't need in our practice. And remind yourself that you came to the mat today. You took on this 30 days of yoga journey. You've done the scariest thing of them all. You came to the mat. So when you're ready from here, we're going to relax the palms to the mat. Inhale to roll that body to tabletop. Straight away, slide left hand forward. Thread the right arm underneath, coming first into thread the needle, and then bring the hands to prayer. Inhale to untangle the arms, move the body through tabletop, and let's take that thread, that prayer thread, the needle, to the other side. Beautiful. Bring the right hand down. Roll that body to tabletop. I'm going to walk those hands a centimetre or two forwards. Taking some of my favourite stretches. We inhale to come to upward facing dog. Oh, such a nice stretch. And then exhale to bend the knees, hip bones to the heels, child's pose. Inhale, roll the body forward, find upward facing dog. And then exhale to send the body all the way back to child's pose. Keep this movement going. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to start to add in that upper body strength, and we're going to start to work on that kind of shelf that we need for our tripod headstand. So coming back into tabletop, you're going to walk those hands a centimetre forward, bring the knees to touch. On your inhale, roll the body forward, bend the elbows lower halfway. Press back up, send hips to heels in child's pose. Taking it 4 more times, roll the body forwards, lower halfway. And then press back up into child's pose. 3rd time, roll forward, bend halfway. Or press back up, come to child's pose 2 more times. Roll the body forwards, lower halfway. Press back up. My arms. And then roll body forward, final time, lower halfway. Press back up, lift hip bones to the sky, come to downward facing dog. Starting to pedal in to those legs. Bending one knee, bending another. And we're going to keep this core going, this upper body work going by taking 5 rounds of down dog to upward dog. So following me from here, from down dog, you inhale to round into those shoulders. Drop the hips low, come to upward facing dog, squeezing the heels together. We inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Push the hip bones back to the sky 4 more times. Round in to the shoulders. Drop the hips, come to upward facing dog. Bend the knees, hip bones to the sky. 3rd time, roll the body forwards. Drop the hips, upward facing dog. Squeeze heels to touch. Bend the knees, hip bones high. 2nd round. No, not 2nd round. 2 more times, round into the shoulders. Drop those hips, arms aching, squeeze heels to touch. Exhale, bend the knees, hip bones high. Final time, round into the shoulders. Drop the hips, squeeze the heels. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, take the hip bones high to the sky. From here, we're going to walk the feet to the edge of our mat. Bend the knees and start to walk the hands all the way back to the feet, as always adjusting your leggings before coming into a bit of a wide leg forward fold. So taking hold of the elbows and wiggling from side to side. Bending into one knee, bending into another. Before we inhale, bring the fingertips to the mat to gaze forwards. On your exhale, right hand touches the left ankle. Pull the left arm to the sky. Take it to the other side. Left hand comes to the right ankle. Pull the right arm to the sky. Bring the hands back to the center. We inhale to gaze forward. Exhale, heels come in and start to sit low into that Malasana pose. So it doesn't matter if those heels lift up a little bit. Might just mean those hamstrings are tight, but we're going to bring the hands to prayer. I think I got bruises on my arm from that crow pose the other day. And then begin to lift the chest here. Pressing into the feet, we hold for 3. We hold for 2. And 1. Hands to the mat, lift the heels up and forward fold once more. Inhale to gaze forwards. Exhale, we're going to walk those hands into downward facing dog and bring the big toes to touch. On your inhale, we're going to send that right leg nice and high to the sky. Point those toes and bend into the knees, split dog. When you're ready, we're going to take 3 rounds of core crunches. We're going to bring that right knee to tap right elbow. Send it back to the sky. 2 more times, tapping right elbow. Tap it. Send it to the sky. Final time, we tap it. Send it all the way to the sky. Before we draw this time, the knee to the chest, step between the thumbs. Keep the hands framing that front foot as we step the back leg forward a couple of centimetres and off to a 45-degree angle, coming to pyramid pose. Square the hips off for the top of the mat. Inhale to gaze forward. Exhale to forward fold. Remember, hands can come to the mat, or you can take hold of the leg, but concentrating on squaring off those hips. Inhale. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Lift the body into standing split here, pulling that left leg nice and high to the sky. With control, step back with that left foot, hands frame right, and we pull that right arm, right leg to the sky. Bend the knee off to split dog. 3 more rounds of those core crunches. We bring right knee to tap right elbow. Take it to the sky. Come to tap right elbow. Take it to the sky. 1 more time. We tap that right elbow and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step right foot by left foot and come to downward facing dog. Pedal out those legs. Taking this to the other side, we bring big toes to touch. Inhale, left leg floats high. Bend the knee off to split dog. 3 rounds of knee to elbow. We tap left elbow. Send it back to the sky. Tap left elbow. Send it back to the sky. 1 more time. We tap left elbow. Send it to the sky. And then this time, draw the knee to the chest. Step between the thumbs, bringing that back foot forward a few centimetres and meet me in pyramid pose. So squaring the hips off with the top of the mat and forward fold. Inhale, we're going to take our gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, let's meet in standing split. Bend into that front knee coven. Pull the right leg nice and high to the sky. Inhale. On your exhale, step back with that right leg and we take the left leg to the sky. Split dog. Final 3 rounds of those core crunches to the left hand side. We bring left knee to tap the elbow and send it to the sky. Come and tap the elbow. Take it to the sky. Final time. We tap the elbow and hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step straight back to downward facing dog. From down dog, relax the knees to the mat. Sit back on the heels, coming to hero's pose, and just allow those arms to rest. Maybe taking some wrist rolls, maybe taking some shoulder rolls. So to come to tripod, we really need the upper body to be feeling strong, just so we can create those gorgeous shelves that we need for a crow pose, we need for a chaturanga. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I've bruised my arm somewhere. Oh God. So taking any wiggles of the shoulders here, before we gently relax the body down briefly into child's pose. Bring the forehead to the mat and just let the arms rest in stillness. the next part of the flow, we're going to start to break down this tripod a little bit. Working on how we feel in the arms, in the kind of weight distribution, and how we feel in this fear edge. Some people find it a lot easier, a tripod, in regards to a headstand rather than the other one with the forearms on the mat. I'm going to be honest that I am the other way. I do prefer a classic headstand rather than the tripod, but that is due to my own kind of fear factors. So when you're ready, from here, we're going to bring the hands to the mat and gently lift the body. So if you can work with a headstand, so if you have a tripod headstand in your practice already, then maybe you choose to come and just practice without any support. If you've never done a tripod before, I really recommend working with a wall, as it's a great way to find that kind of alignment in the body and also kind of help you with that fear, so you know that you kind of are supported, you're not going to roll anywhere. But when it comes to a tripod, same as a headstand, you want about 95% of your weight in the forearms or in the hands. There is very little weight going onto the head for obvious reasons. We do not want to injure that neck. We want to be able to, from a headstand, to come into a pincher or something like that. I'm not saying that's what we're going to do because I don't know how to do that, but in the kind of science of it, that we don't want too much pressure on the head. So what we're going to come into is what I like to call the energy triangle. With a classic headstand, you take hold of the elbows, relax it down, and that's where you find it. When it comes to a tripod, those hands come to the mat, and you want to be able to create a triangle here. So if you're going to create a classic triangle, the top of your head goes to the top of the triangle. Now from here, we bring the hands down to the mat and start to bend in to the elbows. Now shifting your weight to the hands so you can lift the head up quite easily, what we're going to do is we're going to move through an egg to a tripod, okay? So if you have tripod in your practice already, you can come to it. If you want to learn with me, you're going to follow me by bringing that head to the top of the triangle, the flattest part here, hands to the mat. We begin to tuck toes under and lift the heels up. Bend one knee to one elbow, bend a knee to another, and first come to egg. If you feel comfortable from egg, then maybe you begin to lift the feet to the sky. Keep breathing, weight is in your hands. Before we relax one foot down, we relax another and come in to child's pose. Beautiful, gently lifting the body up. Take some wrist stretches by pulling the fingertips back and stretching the inside of the wrist. Take it to the other side. Take some wrist rolls in one direction, wrist rolls in another. So check in now. How are you feeling? Has that fear come in to play here? Has it prevented you bringing the knees to the elbows or the head to the mat? And that is okay. In today's practice, as I said, it is called faith and fear. And this is something that we have to come across in our practice on the mat and in our journey of life. So we always come across obstacles that are quite fearful, maybe if it's a decision to be made or a path to follow, a relationship, anything at all. Sometimes we all have something that really brings us a lot of fear. Mine, personally, to get all deep, is change. I struggle very much with unexpected change or something that I haven't quite planned. And it's been something that I've been working on for quite a few years now, but it is something I really do struggle with just for XYZ reasons. So when it comes to a yoga practice, I try to add in lots of different transitions. I try to add in poses that maybe my body doesn't necessarily like at the moment, just to kind of embrace that sense of change. Now, tripod headstand is one of those for me that really does bring a lot of fear, and maybe it does bring a lot of fear to you. If it does, again, you can modify this. Like in life, we can give ourselves things to help us make us feel better. Maybe you practice against a wall. Maybe you bring a pillow underneath the head to make it a little bit softer. Or maybe you just want to practice on those bending of the arms, so i.e. taking some chaturangas. But we're going to take it a few more times as tripod headstand, bringing you a different variation each time. So practice against the wall, practice on the mat, but we're going to bring the hands to the mat and take that head to the top of the triangle. Pressing in to the hands, we tuck toes under and lift the legs up. Bring a knee to one elbow, bring a knee to another. Stay here. We'll begin to lift the legs to the sky. Keep that breath steady. Before we relax one foot down, relax another, hips to heels, child's pose. Do not lift that head up straight away. Give yourself a moment. Before we lift the body up, maybe taking a few neck rolls. Maybe taking a few wrist rolls. So we're going to take our tripod one more time before we begin to cool down. So from here, I'll give you a different variation. Now this is just going to be taking the legs straight up to the sky. This is my favorite variation to come into a headstand of all sorts. But if you prefer to come into it via the leg, then I invite you to do so. But we plant the hands to the mat, find that little triangle and bring the top of the head to the mat. From here, tuck toes under and begin to walk the feet closer to you. Lift one leg up and begin to lift the other. Yes, Coven. Before, with control, we relax one foot down, we relax another. Come back into that child's pose. Do not lift the head straight away. From here, you're going to slide the hands forward, roll into the shoulders and relax the body all the way down to the mat. Coming straight away into sleeping owl, we thread the right arm underneath the left and relax the body down. So we begin to stretch out the shoulders. You can add in an extra hip stretch by bending into the left leg. Inhale. Exhale to relax the left leg back and tangle the right arm and immediately take it to the other side, bending in to the right leg this time. Inhale. And we exhale. On your next breath, slide the right leg back. Bring both hands to the chest. On your inhale, we find a way into upward facing dog, creating length through the crown of the head before glancing back to one foot. Move through center, glance back at the other. Bend the knees, coming briefly to tabletop to take a few gorgeous cat-cow stretches. Inhaling to drop that chest. Exhale to curve. And then find your way into a comfortable seated position, rolling the shoulders away from the ears and resting the hands into the lap. Closing this practice today by taking a beautiful deep inhale and a slow exhale, sigh it all the way out. Blinking those eyes open and coming back into the room, feeling a sense of gratitude and love to the strength of our minds, to the strength of our bodies, and to the strength of this coven for coming together on day 27 to explore faith over fear. So, to end today's practice is not a classic Shavasana, but we're going to go through a little bit of a journaling session, just kind of exploring our fear and exploring what our fear is doing to our manifesting abilities. We're all frightened of something, maybe something emotional, something physical, something spiritual. We all have those kind of inner demons. And today, that's exactly what we're going to work through in our journaling session. So not coming into it with the idea that it's a therapy session and you're going to cure it or get rid of it or overcome it, but really coming into it with the idea that you're going to understand these fears. We never get rid of fears in our life, but we can overcome them and we can understand and separate those fears that are good for us, i.e. being frightened of sharks, and those fears that are bad for us, i.e. perhaps loving ourselves or taking chances or exploring something new. So give yourself time after this to take yourself off to a quiet space, maybe staying here on your mat, maybe going to the sofa, your desk, bed, etc. and just kind of exploring these journal prompts. So taking your time to find them, to write them down and to explore. You will find all the journal prompts in the description box below, so there's going to be a whole little list of them, and take your time with it now. Pop on the playlist and just let yourself float away. But thanking you so much, Coven, for joining me here for day 27, and I look forward to meeting you here again tomorrow to explore day 28, which is going to be a gorgeous heart opener, getting lost in the flow, opening up that heart and really kind of celebrating the strengths, the journey we've taken on this 30 days of yoga. I am so excited. Thanking you so much, my darlings. I'll see you tomorrow.